Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our whole school assembly today. Today's assembly is about life in the online classroom. We know that things are different and there are things that feel very different, but at the same time, there are things that are similar. So we want to be able to give you some advice on being able to live and cope with the different conditions that we are in at the moment. I chose this video animation for a bit of a reason. There are times over the last week or and a half, and the weeks that are coming ahead, when things will go fantastic and it'll be like seeing the sun coming out and it'll be like seeing the blue sky. But there will be times when things are a bit more difficult, and you may be in a place where, oh my goodness, I can't go out as much as I want to, I can't see people, and that is natural to feel that way. But things come and pass, a bit like this video, we see the clouds come in, we see them passing. I want to say well done, and this is well done on behalf of all of your teachers. Every day and every lesson is an achievement that takes place for you, and never forget that aspect. You have been adapting to an online classroom rather than being in a physical classroom where you can just put your hand up and instantly the teacher can help you, where you can see those nuances a bit more, you can talk to a partner, and those things we're not able to do as much in a virtual classroom. You've got used to new ways of working incredibly quickly. You've learned from the ways of working from that very first lockdown 302 days ago that started. You've built up different strategies and you've built yourself up, but it still doesn't necessarily make it lots easier. It's still very difficult and very challenging, but you've got some good motivation and your attendance to live lessons or watching the recording has been fantastic. I'd be really proud of everybody for that big effort. So how is it that we can try and sustain and continue to do well? And even if we're not doing too well, how do we get onto a good track? Well, one of the most important things is about good habits. And you'll have all heard that phrase, you need to have good habits. But the truth is they really do make a difference. Habits allow you to do something that is real and lasting. It's not a quick fad, it's not a flash in the pan, as some people might say. It keeps you going day after day after day. And what you need is good habits to make sure you can thrive. It's not about just surviving at the moment. We want you to make sure you are thriving in what you are doing. And habits are so important. There was a study done recently that in the United States, people who won the lottery, they followed them and looked to see how their lives changed. 70% of those people who won the lottery, they'd won over $1 million, lost all of their money. They'd spent it all or they invested it in the wrong places. That is crazy to think. But part of it was because of poor habits around how to spend and look after money, how to live your life in a sustainable way, and actually realizing that $1 million won't actually get you very far. So habits are so important. And there's a few bits that I want to think about. The first part is habits help you to stay well and also to help you succeed in your learning, and succeed as a scholar. Remember, a scholar is about somebody who's there learning all of the time. While you're in school, you are scholars. So the first part is keeping to a routine. The more you can keep consistency, the better. Your body gets into a rhythm and also your mind at the same time. You know what to expect. In a school, the routine is there because of a timetable, because of the bus getting you, because of you getting up at the same time. The more you can maintain that, the better you will feel all of the time. The same thing as being in school, the more you can stick to your timetable, the better position you will be in. It will keep you up to date all of the time, and it keeps you going. It keeps your motivation and perseverance on the go. Now, it might be that you don't have a consistent Wi-Fi all of the time, or your access to devices isn't there, and you have to use the recordings that take place. And that is the case, you need to work with that. But can you build a consistent time in the day to be able to do it? So you get into that good habit as you go forwards. You've been fantastic on the whole in submitting assignments on time. These are really key and important parts of us knowing not only are you there at the live lesson or watching the recording, but you're also going through the process of learning. When we just watch, we don't learn as well as when we do things. We have a 10-minute gap between our lessons. A key part of that is to make sure that you have enough time. An important part of the teachers are they're transitioning from one live lesson to another. But you have that 10 minutes and use that time to not only pop to the toilet or get a drink or get a snack, but also to submit your assignments. The more you can keep up with it, the better. The more you can do period one and then say, right, I'm going to get my assignment in, then you know you're done, and you're ready then again for period two. It's just like handing your book in at the end of the lesson. The things you would normally do in your classroom, what can we do when we are in our online classrooms? The next part is getting some time away from your screen at break and lunch. This is really important. What we're not used to doing is working on a laptop, working on a phone or a tablet for such extended periods. Okay, we're usually looking at a screen within the classroom, of course, but we're not there all of the time. We're looking at our books, we're looking and doing different things. When there is break time, okay, when you get to 11 o'clock, when you get to 1:20, have some time away from your own mobile phone as well. Take time to look outside the window. Can you step outside into your garden and feel the cold air or even the sun on your skin at the moment? Those small little breaks do make a big difference to you. And the other part in terms of habit is about giving 90% all of the time. We often hear about you need to give 100% all of the time. But the problem is with 100%, sometimes we do need to dig deeper and we need to do a bit more. If we run at 100% all the time, we will find it very difficult to sustain. If we know that we have given 90% every single time, and there's sometimes where we might have to dig a bit deeper to get to that 100%, then we've got that little bit of extra energy and that little bit of extra buffer when we need it. So 90% and steady is much better than trying to go flat out all of the time and burning yourself out. Now, the other part that is very different at the moment is you're not getting up and moving as much. Okay, and that is inevitable. I'm stood up here, okay, my camera is on top of a chair. When I'm teaching at the moment, I'm putting my laptop either on top of a chair if I'm teaching in a classroom in school, or if I'm at home, I'm putting my laptop on top of the ironing board so that I can be stood up and I can keep moving. Because actually, it's not good for us to sit still all of the time. But there are things that we can do, okay? When you have your live lessons, okay, you are sat down, there's nothing stopping you every 15 minutes quickly standing up and having a quick stretch as you go through, giving yourself a bit of a shake, okay? As you would do sometimes, just to get yourself going. Stretching is also really important. You know that from your PE lessons. But stretching does feel good, okay? Your instinct when you first wake up in the morning is to stretch. Okay, that's a normal thing for a human being. And there are lots of stretches you can do just sat at your chair. Okay, I've got some diagrams here, just moving your neck up and down, side to side. Okay, turning, just using a bit of shoulder roll, okay, particularly if you've been hunched over, okay, get your shoulders back. Okay, some side stretches. We've got some twists that you can do as well. Okay, leaning forwards. Okay, sometimes it's good to have your head lower than your heart. Very good for blood pressure. And then also moving your legs. Really simple things that just doing a couple of times a day will make it feel better in terms of the experience you are having. And the other part is looking up. We spend the majority of our day looking down. Okay, either where we're walking, either at a device. And very rarely do we turn our head to look upwards, and very, very rarely do we use our eyes to look upwards. If you just try that now, if you just physically look up with your eyes, it feels different because your muscles inevitably in your eye are weaker looking up. That's a good thing to practice now and again. Strengthens your eye muscles, but also it just gives your eye muscles the other way a bit of a break because they're having to relax as they go forwards. Now, the other part for us to think about is being able to reset now and again. Okay, we won't be working at 90%, but we do need to make sure that we can reset where we are up to. And you will have heard about people saying, oh, actually, you need to take the time to breathe. And you might be thinking, gosh, I've been breathing all my life. I'm pretty good at breathing. But actually, there's a bit more to it. No matter what is happening, okay, to you, okay, there's two things that are consistently always happening. Your heart is beating and you are breathing. And it all happens automatically. But there are two things that are always with you no matter what is taking place. No matter what stressful situation, no matter what relaxation session that you are in, your breathing and your heart are always there. Now, because your breathing is always there, any time when we think, oh my goodness, this is not a good day, coming back and just noticing yourself breathing is a really good way of helping to reset. When you start focusing on your breathing, it stops your mind going a million miles an hour. It's normal, okay? It's normal for people to talk to themselves all the time. You have this running dialogue of things that are going on. But sometimes you must give your brain a rest. It is more difficult at the moment because we are working in more isolated times. Okay, you're working through a screen. You're not having those contacts you would normally. So more than ever, we do need to reset our minds to be able to carry on and be able to thrive in the world that we are. And you know the phrase, healthy body, healthy mind. So what I'm going to show you is a 1-minute clip on how to do a short bit of breathing for 1 minute to help that resetting. Have a go now, okay? Listen carefully and follow along.
So sitting comfortably, just taking a big deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. As you breathe in, noticing how the body expands. As you breathe out, just watching the body soften. You gently close the eyes. And rather than the mind leading the breath, allow the breath to lead the mind. Notice the sensation of the breath. Notice it where you feel it in the body. If you need to, you can just gently place your hand on the stomach. And just following that rising and falling sensation. Nothing else to do. Allowing thoughts to come and go. And when you're ready, just gently open the eyes again.
Something so simple can make a big difference. And lots of you I know will have a Fitbit or some form of Apple Watch or smartwatch. And you will know that it often says to you, oh, you need to take a minute to breathe. Okay, the evidence is there. Take time to have a go at doing it. Okay, last things from me. Keep up the good work. Okay, I want you to make sure you stay safe. Make sure you stay well. If you have any questions, make sure you reach out to your teachers, reach out to your tutor, your SSA, your senior tutor. Everybody is here to help you. All the best, and I look forward to seeing you back in school, okay, as soon as time allows. Goodbye.